Joining us now for more is Daniel Newman. He's CEO of Futurum Group, and James Cakmak, CIO of Clockwise Capital. James, I'll start with you. Obviously, we talk about this very often. No one wants to pay higher prices for an Apple iPhone or really any Apple devices, but those payment plans for phones sort of make the sticker shock more palatable. And also, as we've been talking about, if my iPhone gets run over by a truck tomorrow, I'm going out and buying a new one, no matter what the cost. I mean, does that offer some protection to Apple?
Yeah, obviously they have a very sticky customer base that will continue to invest in Apple products, and we don't see that changing. However, I mean, what this just simply creates is a no-win situation for anybody. Apple loses, consumers lose, and there's no getting around it. And so it's not something that we think will derail the company in a material fashion. But at the same time, as an investor, you have to look elsewhere other than Apple, and we actually sold out of our entire position yesterday.
Wow, and that's on the assumption, what, that you just think it's only going lower from here, that none of these headlines can be good, even if that tariff doesn't end up being as bad as what's threatened?
Well, we're rotating out of mega cap tech because we do think that the tail risks in the market are increasing in probability. And so we're rotating more to value, increasing our hedges, as well as focused more on the smaller tech side. And we think that Apple, the risk reward simply just wasn't there to justify owning the position, despite it being such a significant weight in the NASDAQ index.
Wow, fascinating stuff. Daniel, what about you? I mean, what do you make of sort of what we've heard from President Trump about the idea of these tariffs on specifically Apple? I mean, will it end up being as bad, I should say, as feared? Is this an overreaction in the stock, or appropriate because maybe there is some level of tariff?
I think there will end up being some level of tariff. I think this is a pattern of behavior from President Donald Trump and the administration. It's an escalate, de-escalate. I think President Trump is upset because he knows what Tim Cook is doing. Tim Cook is moving only a small fraction to India. It may be all the final assembly, but all the sub-assemblies are still being done in China. And as the U.S.-China tensions remain, despite they are negotiating seemingly in better faith than we are with the EU, he wants to see more end up in the U.S., and he wants to see more, if he is going to move to India, which I think will end up with a better trade agreement. It's not just moving that last mile, which is all they are actually moving right now.
Yeah.
I think he wants to see high-tech manufacturing in the U.S. He wants to see R&D.
I want to be clear, Daniel. Sorry to cut you off. I want to be clear. At this point with Tim Cook and everything, Trump, we're just guessing, right? We actually don't know what ultimately is going to happen. Or do we think we know enough, Daniel, that we can make an educated assumption about how this ends?
Well, I think only Donald Trump knows, President Trump knows right now exactly where this will end up. And even he still has to go through these negotiations. But what I do think is we know that when the tensions have grown too much, he's backed out. He has backed down, but he's also getting us progress. And we've made progress with China. We're making progress with India. He's made progress with CEOs. I mean, him and Jensen Huang are still sparring, but we've made progress in the Middle East and in other regions. I think in the end, he doesn't want $3,000 iPhones for consumers in the U.S. We do not win if that's the case. But he also doesn't want a situation where India becomes China and they become so important that we have no leverage. We're still not making phones here. We haven't advanced robotics, automation, and manufacturing here in the United States. And I believe that he wants to see Tim Cook. They've spent $600+ billion in buybacks, maybe additional dollars being spent to accelerate manufacturing in the U.S., bring more R&D back here, and commit to the fact that we're not going to allow China or India to ultimately control our ability to get the most advanced technologies here in the U.S. and the most important devices to pretty much every consumer on the planet.